Here we have verse 29 of the 12th chapter of the Gospel of John. We're in the midst of a conversation that was triggered by a request by some Greeks that they could have an audience with Jesus. And Jesus now begins to contemplate and explain the events that are going to be upcoming and the long-term and widespread effects of them, namely that if he's lifted up, he will call all kinds of people to himself. That's sort of the conclusion to which we're heading here. But at this point, we're just following up on a moment in which Jesus has prayed that God would, through the work of Christ, glorify himself. And then we have a response in which there's a voice out of heaven, apparently, saying that God would indeed glorify, had glorified, and would indeed do so in the future. And now we have a comment by John as to the impact that that voice had on the crowd. So we have ho, the definite article, masculine, singular, nominative, oklos, the masculine noun, so the crowd, singular, and then the postpositive un. So therefore, the crowd, ho, so this goes with this, so it's the crowd, the standing there is the idea. Hestos is from histemi, one of the me verbs in the New Testament. This is the perfect active participle, masculine, singular, nominative, so it goes along with the masculine, singular, nominative crowd, and it means standing there. The perfect means they had been standing there, continue to do so. The word histemi, meaning stand, so the crowd, the standing there one, literally. Kai, and then another participle, akousos. This is an aorist passive participle, again. I should say aorist active participle, masculine, singular, nominative, so it's in the same construction, except that this is aorist and hestos was perfect. The aorist participle referring to time or to events taking place prior to the time of the leading verb, and so the crowd that was standing there and having heard is the idea, and then the verb in the sentence elegen, from lego I say, this is the third person singular, aorist active indicative. Actually it's the imperfect active indicative, and so the crowd that's standing there and having heard was saying is the idea, and then brontain, this is the word for thunder, and gegonenai, from genomai, which means become, and it's the infinitive at this point, so this is the perfect active infinitive. So thunder had become, or thunder to become, literally. So the crowd was saying thunder to be would be the idea, thunder to become. It's idiomatic, of course, and simply means that they recognized the sound but identified it with a clap of thunder rather than a distinct voice. However, others had a different view, aloi. These are, this is the word for another, in the plural it would be others. Elegon, so this is the plural, it's the same word here, except it's the third person plural, as opposed to the singular, which went along with oklos, so others were saying, also imperfect. Angelos, an angel, a messenger, this is the nominative. Auto, the indirect object, so it's the dative, singular, masculine, an angel to him. Lelaleken. Lelaleken, from laleo, I speak. This is the third person singular perfect active indicative. An angel had spoken to him is the idea. So we have a division of the crowd. Some of commentators have viewed this as maybe some simply heard the noise but couldn't take any more meaning from it than that, but others, maybe those that Jesus would otherwise say had ears to hear, heard more, and maybe they were able to make out that this was in fact the voice of God, or at least the voice of an angel coming out of heaven, confirming an answer to the prayer that Jesus had offered.